someone who has the understanding of how the system would work or how the construct of the mobile would work. Otherwise,
Quite a special person to be able to convey that. Yeah.
so it begs the question: if there are a plurality of people making the mobile, then they wouldn't have any common purpose on what is the end product. That wouldn't then follow.
You could probably say that, but you've got lots of apps on your phone, all developed by different people with different ideas.
Sure.
It doesn't stop the phone from working. It makes it useful to people.
Sure, but I'm talking about the general hardware or the general motherboard
Again,
of
lots
a
of the
phone.
hardware, lots of the firmware is all developed by different people without a common guide.
Fine, I fully accept that. However, what I would say is the general operation of the mobile phone, there would be a construct at the end of the day of what one is trying to achieve by the objective of making a mobile. And that would
That
necessitate...
would be very strange.
How
A
so?
lot of the time, cyber teams are trying to make sure that it doesn't do dangerous things. Because
Okay.
it can do such a wide variety of ungoverned stuff, which is useful to all sorts of different people.
That depends upon what software you have here. So what what you're viewing, yes.
Yeah, but it is terribly difficult to make it go in any one particular direction. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you take Apple's iOS,
Yeah.
yeah, you can go and log in and add something to it. It goes through automated tests, which are done by AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no particular overall guidance apart from people consider it useful.
I'm speaking, I understand your point. They are some of the mechanisms of certain software that you are proposing and certain technological aspects within the mobile. But I'm just speaking in generality in terms of the construct of it. So naturally, when the first person thought of the mobile, it wouldn't have been a singular person who had no clue upon the mechanical operations of the mobile. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
But it does,
How?
because you can have an idea of, I would like to do this,
Okay.
and then encourage people to help you.
Yes.
And the people that help you have knowledge of little bits of it,
But it
and
was
how it should fit together.
sure, but it was still
But there's nobody with an overall,
okay.
because it's so complicated.
Well, we say it's complicated, but then again, it came into fruition. Hence, it suggests that there must
By
have
teams and teams of people,
sure, but
incrementally moving their stuff on
yeah, that's fine.
until it works well together.
Absolutely, I would concur with that.
There's no one person governing this,
So then we wouldn't
whether
come.
it's useful to lots of people.
So then we wouldn't come to the totality of how to operate. If everyone is doing their own bit, there wouldn't be a general understanding of the individual who has shown that these component parts which have come together will serve the purpose of the operation. That then, I mean, who makes the net conclusion on what these parts are doing in order to operate it? Then? Have you understood my point?
I've understood
Yeah.
your point. Whether or not it's safe is usually a group of people deciding, so a committee.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's useful is the marketplace deciding. Lots of people download the app, lots of people use the apps.
Yes.
Yeah. The apps then demand certain things from the OS. Yeah. And the OS demands certain things from the hardware.
Sure.
And the hardware manufacturers find they can't do certain things,
Yes.
and they put new chips on it.
Yeah.
So there's no overall agreement on how it should be.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Fine.
either useful or it isn't. And some phones
Yes.
die
Yeah.
because the batteries they've got are wrong.
Sure, but if you're talking about a motherboard and the construct of all the various, elements which are within there, they would have to be constructed in a way in which a pervading individual has an idea of the various aspects which are used to operate the mobile. Because then,
Anybody would know that much all in one go.
but then in that case, how then would one attain by bringing these components together that we can then operate the mobile? That's what we seem to be going in circles, but that's the point.
Usually
Yeah.
a committee of lots of different people with lots of different views.
Yep, I fully accept that. However, we're still not answering the central question as to the actual operational function of it. The operational function would be that if we're to make such a device, and even if we had to have a different compilation of people, there must have been a general overview that all these different constructs, and as you're saying,
I'll have to take you into one of the committees because
Yeah.
it really doesn't have that level.
I fully accept what there's no dispute upon what all I'm saying to you. There has to necessitate that someone has got an understanding of how these interconnecting parts would then be operational. Otherwise, we would be just aimlessly. For example, we're going to make a road. You've got an expert in the manufacturing of the various elements that go forth in building the. So then we would never have the end day, the engineer, like a civil engineer, the product, individual
I was
who
looking at one
initiates.
of these the other day
Yeah.
because I was up on Hadrian's Wall. The Romans built a nice straight road.
Yes.
Over time, that nice straight road has got more tarmac on it and more signposts on it and used by more traffic.
Sure.
It's now not straight.
Yeah.
What kind of logic is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously that's that's gone. Yeah, that's
It
gone.
was a lovely
yeah.
straight road the Romans put in beside Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah.
It's no longer straight.
Yeah, I accept that. So
Yeah?
going back to that.
So there's nobody overall governing this. It's all done by little committees coming together and saying, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we went round that tree?
Yes.
Yeah?
No, it
And
makes
they have no regard for what happened before or what happens after.
sure.
And they've got no one particular expert.
Yeah.
But a bunch of committees just thinking, oh, that would be nice today, or I disagree with that because I had something bad for breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The concept of somebody that really understands stuff and can guide you is really strange for humans, because humans just don't have that capacity. You can't, if you stand up and say, I'm brilliant at this, it's going to go that way, everybody else will say, what the hell are you talking about? We're going that way.
So for example, the first person to have built the plane, an aeroplane, or whatever, just say flying instrument, whatever. Are you saying therefore that wouldn't have been a singular individual? That would have been a whole composition of different individuals.
Leonardo da Vinci stuff,
Yeah.
you could go and look at that. And if you look at the guys who've modelled it, they've modelled it wrong. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yes, it's great. They're little wooden models about this big in one of the churches in Italy.
Yeah.
And they built them wrong. Yeah. So although he had a great idea, it ought to do this, and sketched it out,
Yeah.
people couldn't build it.
But I'm speaking about the first person who built the plane for it.
Something different. The Wright brothers did lots and lots of tests, but again, it was multiple people.
Yeah.
They were two guys, and they hired in
Yeah.
extra people to build the woodwork, to build the mechanisms.
Precise. And they would have had an idea
All
of.
sorts of things.
Yeah, but they would have had an idea of what those mechanisms involved. Even if they wouldn't have been experts in that field of mechanism, they would have understood these are the people that are required in order to operate what we may have expertise on. So there is that simulating expertise, which just
Partly did that, but a lot of it's trial and error to see what works.
yes,
Rather than you're setting an intention.
yes,
Yeah, and they didn't generally have so much good knowledge.
Yes.
They tried things out to see what worked.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's different from having an intended plan. Yeah.
Well, you'd assume that they
Experimenting with stuff. But,
Obviously, the objective would have been that we need to fly it. We need to devise an instrument which can make us fly it. Hence, even if they brought forward,
Wright brothers in powered flight, there were people before who did gliders and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you just
so
have
they've
to-
had powered flight as well.
sure. So the analogy that, as you said, you believe in God. The analogy would be, for example, God creates us, so He doesn't create the plane, which is running by the laws of physics or whatever. But at the point still being that we create the plane, but it's still the instruments which have been provided as raw material by a creator.
We've got intelligence, we've got hands, we can do things.
Precisely, but yes. But so why have I used that as an analogy, which was the overall reasoning for me to try to substantiate an understanding of a divine claim? But because you're already a theist, which you've confirmed by accepting, or a deist, I haven't really gone into that. But as you accept there is a creator, then it necessitates, therefore, that the universe, for example, as theists would be commonly understand, that a universe couldn't have come from nothing. That's number one. Or the universe couldn't have created itself. Obviously, by definition, one, which is
It could have done. I think there was some intention, some guidance to get things going.
excellent,
Yeah.
yes.
And that's why there should be a God there, because,
Brilliant.
like you say, it's pretty impressive.
Yes,
You
yes,
look around
absolutely.
at the things, the
Yeah.
mountains and the air and everything, the oceans, everything works quite nicely.
Brilliant.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
But it doesn't require anything from humans.
absolutely,
Even
no.
if you wipe all the humans out, that would still function.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're in agreement with that. I'm just speaking about the analogy, what I was trying to give of the mobile phone in conjunction with a creator. I think we just went into technical details somewhat more so than
You
the...
know a bit about what you're talking about.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay, I'm unusual.
No, you're not unusual. You're
Yeah,
very...
but I can take you down quite technical paths.
Yes, yeah. I'm sure you can, yes.
And I'm not convinced that humans know very well what they're doing. Yeah. And now and again, a human pops up who's really, really good at talking and says, "Hey, guys, if you follow me, that's a religion." And you go, "Well, that's nice." And people follow them because they're a great talker and they tell great stories. But it doesn't mean they've got anything to do with God.
So,
Sometimes they end up as politicians. Sometimes sometimes they end up with religious leaders.
Very good point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yes, very good point. So,
If God was there providing guidance, he would provide it equally to everybody in whatever technique they need, even if they're disabled, even if they're deaf and dumb, if they die when they're 3.
so yeah.
These leaders don't get to these kind of people.
So what I would say in relation to that point is that, as you said, there is a creator. See, it defies comprehension that a creator would create us without any purpose. Because in effect, that could be an argument that you're raising.
Pissed off a board.
Well, that's something that we would be peed off or bored if you're giving that some sort of...
If I was a creator, it would be much more fun to watch it evolve rather than go, splat, done, right, now what should we do?
Yeah, which is what the universe suggests, that it was something which evolved. It wasn't made just instantly, although we do know that. I mean, are you a proponent of the Big Bang? Do you believe in that?
I don't know, that's where it gets a bit hazy. Yeah, even physicists aren't brilliantly good at doing the beginning bit of the Big Bang.
Yeah.
There's phases in it which go, oh, we're going to have inflation for a bit.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have it cooling for a bit.
Yeah.
And you go, that's great,
Yeah.
but you're going to have to mess with time
Yeah.
if you're going to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can do. You can chase the rules of physics at that point.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we're going to have different rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's nicer
Yeah.
to have it flow right the way through.
Excellent.
God watching, going, this is a fun story.
Fantastic. I think we're on a commonality here. There is a creator who's supervising everything, just for want of a better word. Now, because we're humans and we've got an intellect and a brain and a capacity to think, it then makes sense that that creator, rather than, as you've suggested, perhaps being bored or being, finding some entertainment, has decided that more so that we must, for example, one cannot prove the existence of a creator, neither can one deny it. But as long as you've got good reason to believe in a creator, that is sufficient to then suggest to the one who rejects that
Be careful, you're going benevolent here.
Yeah.
I think just wanted to add.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add one thing. So there was a universality of God message sent to every humankind, whether they do not need an external evidence to know God, and that's why when Islamic terminology called fitra, which just means the innate disposition, means when the information was built in. No, it's more of a moral compass. What I'm talking about, when a baby born, the baby actually programmed to know there is a maker. And there is an interesting study done in Oxford University by Sir William Barrett, and in the book called Born Believer. So what they did, they looked into age 5 to 12 years of children. Then investigated them without the external influence of the families.
Very difficult. A 5-year-old is quite bright.
No, 5 years old without external influence.
Well, they will have had that up to 5.
So they basically, on that study basically.
They weren't born in a box, presumably.
No, of course not. But in order to make a decision, they must be around with a society. So what they did, they make sure they chose people or the children.
Deaf, blind, dumb people who are.
No, I'm not talking deaf. No, I'm not talking.
So you've got to be careful. You're not saying, God ignores
I'm not making up. I'm stating some fact. I'm stating some fact.
But the fact has 5-year-old to 12-year-old.
No, the fact means they done some examination. I'm just saying quoting. They find all of the children has an inclination towards a higher maker. So when someone comes to you and inform you,
with Nazis. So we have to be careful.
No, I think this is a conflating idea. What I'm talking about, universally, every human being has been informed about who is their maker. It is their family, friend.
Good to challenge every, but most. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family, friends, and other external forces change this methodology. Means they taught them their way of thinking. The way you thinking is a representation of who you hang around with, who do you socialize with, what books you read, what food you eat. You would not be thinking the way you are thinking if you are in Africa or Bangladesh. So there are a way of how we've been programmed. So essentially when I say my thinking is free, it's actually not. So that's why Islam brings back to the innate nature, reminding you that you've been already informed that you have a maker. Then when the external evidence, people like him, or you see the sun and moon, we connect to the God. Why? Do you know why? We connect to God. Someone said, why someone says sun is sign of God? Means the information of God is already embedded within the fitra. Therefore he connected. Nobody says sun is the sign of a God. Because No human being believes the God is the maker of the sun.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Right.
okay.
So that's why we have that innate disposition, which already we know what it is. That's why we link up the creation with our innate being. So therefore, the first line of information was given, and there is an interesting passage in the Quran. God tell one of the tyrant rulers, Moses. At Moses' time, one of the tyrant rulers is called Pharaoh. So God said, so the first time, sending someone to Pharaoh. It's very interesting. So God said, "Oh Moses, go and remind Pharaoh. If I come back to you, if I come with an information for first time, I cannot say it's a reminder. It's a first information. If I come back second, then it's reminder. So what Allah the Creator is saying, the first information I have given him within his fitrah, innate nature. So when you go as an external messenger, you remind him what I have already instilled. So Islam, what it tell us, that if
Tell me,
yeah.
you understand false memories? Yeah. Magicians can install false memories.
There are hallucinations, there are other things. Yes, yes, of course, all sorts of things.
Okay, so now if you're going to say that, you've got to demonstrate to me that he wasn't generating a false memory.
Okay, now it can be testable.
Okay.
The fitra can be testable.
Okay, go
Okay.
for it.
What happened when you are in the plane? Imagine just pilot announce it, in 5 minutes we'll be take everyone down.
Yeah.
The accident is going to happen, we hit on the surface, hard surface.
Yeah.
What people would call out?
They will call out like 5-year-old what their
No,
environment is
whoever
telling
is
them to
there,
do.
all the
So I will call out what my environment is telling me to do.
Yeah,
You
call
will
out to
what
God.
your environment is telling you to do.
It doesn't matter irrespective of. People will call out to God. And that is called counterintuitive. So if I the intuitiveness,
Tell me why it's counterintuitive.
yeah. If the intuitiveness is belief without reason, knowing through the maker, then it be provable by counterintuitive. Means when you are in need, that shape will remind you who you are. No, it's not gambling. No, that actually originally come from. Nobody would dare to tell anyone that I'm on the middle of the sea, I'm about to sink, and he would not call out for God.
Oh, gambler says you call out to God because if there is one,
But gambler
it will
would not
make
be
it
able to save
different.
you anyway. So that would be,
Well, no, for yourself.
yeah.
In your head, you've got multiple ideas.
But that's not a right analogy. By you.
Okay, but if the result is you think there may be a God or there may not. If you say there isn't one,
Nobody
then you
would,
drown.
what,
If you say there is one, you might survive.
nobody in
So
the
the
brink
gambler
of their
goes
life,
for the-
nobody would brink of their life would tell themselves, I'm not going to believe with that stubbornness. And we have historically, even the greatest one, when they were drowning, the Pharaoh, when they were drowning, they said, I believe in the God of Moses. But in the deathbed, the tawbah, the repentance to God doesn't accept in Islamic theology, right?
Okay.
Having said that, I'm saying it's a
Not
counterintuitive
all
claim. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's a self-evident acceptance of an external entity to help me because I'm helpless.
Yes,
That shows
I
that innate.
understand
Yeah.
that some people have said they do not believe and they are prepared to die because they do not believe. Yeah? So some humans choose that path. I don't. You
Yeah,
presumably
some
don't. But
human
do choose that
also
path.
chose to be suicide. Are you saying?
Can be suicide,
No.
but it can be
But that
standing
could
up
be
to
lead to
religion
suicide.
and saying,
So-
no, we're not happy with religion and we don't believe in God, you must leave us alone.
I think the category you are saying is called suicide. Either you believe in something. If someone say I'm not happy with my life,
I don't think these people do.
Hey, my friend,
but
free
I
information.
think they say,
if someone
leave us alone.
now,
because we don't
if
know.
someone say I don't want to do suicide, then you would ask for to survive. Now imagine if someone loves his life, so much, you would not say, okay, I'm gonna die.
I
I'm
think
gonna
there
accept
are
the fate.
examples of some humans who do that. It's not
But-
me, it's not you, but I think there are
But
some that
we,
do that.
but we make an example based on a belief that would happen. But we never come across, unless you are insane, deaf man or some of the categories, or someone doesn't love his life.
I think
These
there
are the
history
exception
cases,
categories.
History cases, you can look in legal, yeah, where people have said we do not want
Based,
religion.
let's look at the probabilistic scenario. 99.9% of scenario
Yeah.
put on the category I'm talking about. You are giving an example of 0.001%, trying to imitate that will be like a general.
I think they
Staff.
are big enough to stand up to government. Not one person, but groups of people standing up saying, we do not believe this, we do not want to be influenced by religion,
Yeah.
leave us alone.
I mean, look,
Yeah?
In-
And that is why we have laws that allow multiple religions to work and people to say they're not part of a religion.
That's your
that's your, I think, very subjective.
yeah. That's your understanding, which is fine. But I think we seem to have.
there's some it's not me, it's not you, but I think there are a group of people who do that.
So your belief is sorry. So your belief is essentially that there is a creator. However,
I do, yeah.
yeah. And are you, so would you hold on to a deistic or theistic theme of that creator?
I don't know, I'm with the innate, there is something bigger.
That's
Okay.
what we say. That innately, you
I
know.
don't know if that innate is correct or not.
But so are you then inclined towards deism or theism?
I honestly don't know. It's not something I'm worried about.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'd be happy. Yeah, if it was a group of things that just decided this was a nice thing to do, I'd be happy with that. I don't need it to be one.
I think that was the way of looking things. Now imagine if you establish someone is there.
If it's one, it's easy.
Yeah, so now if you
it's
believe
easy
it-
to imagine a human.
No, I think not imagine. Your extension of logic goes like that. So if you believe there is an external entity who is the creator of the heavens and the earth, automatically implies there is a purpose why he creates things.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Purpose can mean
Now,
Christoph and
now
Paul
if
as well.
someone is, if I give the attribute, then I say this is all creator, all powerful. Then all powerful cannot be without all the will. Means there are a purpose and plan in the mind that what is my own function. Because subjectively nobody, no human being can decide their own purpose. The-
You get tricky with freedom of will. You've got to be careful you don't go down the
No,
freedom of will.
I understand where you're going.
Yeah.
This is called foreordainment, means the will restriction and where the free will occurs, right?
Okay.
So our understanding is we are in middle ground. So we believe that the creator has a will and we have a will and his will prevails. We don't know how. The mechanism, nobody knows.
Okay.
Nobody knows it, right?
Okay.
Nobody knows it. But our understanding is compatibilism, which is in between. And so going back, so the creator has the will. Now we, in order to know the will of the creator, there is only few possible way we can get to know this information.
Okay.
Either through he directly send a book and we see it's falling down and we touch it.
Okay.
Or either send angel
Okay.
or human being.
Okay.
So these are the three plausible options we have.
None of those cover your internal one.
No, the internal one, all other three are the,
If the internal
no,
one works,
internal one is the first primary.
so why do I need the upper one?
Exactly, right? Right? This is a very important question, right? So the internal one, through the first premise, you know you have a maker.
Okay.
But internal, your understanding of fitra, you don't know what is your own purpose.
What, you run out of data?
No, not run out of data. No, that was given. That was given so that you can acknowledge what will be coming. If you know there is a maker, then you accept external evidence or another source. That is the question. He chose us this way of communication, right? Now, your intent, if you know there is a maker,
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
if you
That's
see
okay.
this communication, if you see what you are doing here,
Okay.
you would be sad if I don't give you any method. Now imagine you walk out today,
Okay.
wake up home, and if you don't know what to do, if you don't have the guidance, you will be sad and depressed because you don't know what to do.
No, I'm happy. I don't need guidance. I do my own thing.
No, if you are lost,
If I'm lost,
no, if you are lost, and if you don't have the
I
guidance,
am quite happy to walk
now,
into middle of
now
London.
let me tell you a scenario. You go to Amazon jungle, you lost the map,
Yeah.
you lost everything,
Yeah.
and in few hours, if you know that the darkness is coming,
Yeah.
then animal or some sort of animal will about to take you.
Okay, I tend to do this in cities rather than forests.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
saying, scenario. Would you, if someone say, I am giving you guidance and that will take you out of the forest, would you accept that guidance at that time? Or would you say, no, my internal conviction is firm, I'm going to stay here, it doesn't matter whether animal bite me or not? What would you say? I'm giving you a scenario.
Yeah, you have, and I've been in both situations,
Yeah.
and sometimes I choose one way and sometimes I choose
Yeah.
the other.
So what I'm saying is,
I'm in the middle of Norway, yeah, where there's nothing but snow around me and trees, no mobile signal, and sometimes I've accepted help and sometimes I haven't. There's other times where I walked out the hotel, my wife was working in the hotel, and I've forgotten after walking a bit which hotel I came from.
no, I
Yeah?
think what
And
we
so
are talking
you're
about,
completely lost.
your
and then I'm
scenario is more
thinking,
of, it
how
doesn't
do I
give
get
any
back?
consequences. I am talking about,
They're quite serious
no,
consequences.
no, but
Yeah?
yours is not life threatening. The scenario, yeah.
Nobody in the snow is exactly like
So now, if you're in a life-threatening scenario,
Yeah.
someone say, I give you guidance that will take you out of the danger.
and there are people about, sometimes they ask and sometimes they don't. Yes.
Okay. Now, what would you do at that time? Would you take guidance or would
And
you?
sometimes I have and sometimes I haven't.
Well,
I'm
the
saying
way he's
about
asking is,
life-threatening.
what would you take?
What would
Guidance
you
or
take in a
non-guidance?
life-threatening situation. You're in Amazon jungle.
Yeah. Sometimes I
Darkness
take
is
my own
coming.
guidance and don't follow them, and sometimes I follow them.
No, I'm talking about this particular scenario
Yeah. So when I've done it,
because there is two options here.
yeah, okay, when I've done it, I was in the middle of Norway, in the snow, and the light was fading. Yeah?
I'm
If I'd
talking
have
about
stayed
an
where I
Amazon
was-
jungle with animals there.
No, well, there were polar bears about, but not something I was that bothered
No
about.
tiger
Thought it
there
was
as well.
probably- No tigers. No. It's snowing.
No, in Amazon jungle, you have tiger, all types
I
of.
haven't done that example.
No, I'm
So
just
what he's
saying-
basically saying,
I'm
okay,
saying-
on which situation would you not take the guidance? That's what, in effect, that's what he's saying.
One of them I chose to decide I was going to survive on my own,
Okay.
and I just went and decided I would do that on my own.
You know why this will not work?
And how did you survive? 1 minute. How did you survive?
I guessed a direction and walked for it for a bit, and I followed how I felt I should go.
Okay, and
And I
that.
got to a street lamp eventually, and
Yeah.
then I started tracking the city until I got to somewhere safe.
But so that was just chance. What you're saying, that's a sheer chance. That was
It
not.
didn't feel
planned.
like a chance. I didn't flick a coin to decide where to go.
Yeah,
I did
that could be
try
fine.
and-
But that was again
Intent-
because you didn't have the intent of going to your destination. It was just generally wandering with a hope. With the hope, you see. So the hope then.
Tried to use intelligence to do it, but yes, there was an element of chance.
There you go, you see. So in essence, what this shows that the inert disposition that the brother has made, the innate inclination, is you're still relying on something, even though it's chance by effect, it's something beyond the realm which you're suggesting. But you're a theist anyway, so I don't see why this should be problematic for you. It should be straightforward for you in the sense of you
It's a free
accepting.
will thing.
Yeah, that's fine. There's no
If
issue.
if I prayed which way to go, that would be looking for guidance.
But yeah, but not necessitating the prayer.
If I choose where to go, that's my free will.
Yeah, but yeah.
Here, the concept where we need to reconcile here, once you agree that you have that innate nature, through that, you already seeing the creator. Then that innate, then it is necessitate upon you you need to know where is my guidance.
Sometimes I use free will.
You know why? It actually balances out. Some of the things, God given guidance to every human being. How to eat. We don't need to read a book how to eat. When a baby born, when he latches his mother's breast milk, nobody taught the baby how to drink the milk. It's inbuilt nature of him. So there are some knowledge God has given intrinsic within us. So we don't need a revelation to know that. But
Be careful with ones that don't work.
no.
Yeah.
I'm telling whatever you have agreed.
Yeah.
So if you
I'm
say
happy for me, that works. Yeah.
yeah. So there are type of guidance. We don't need external guidance. But the totality of our life. One is my day-to-day guidance. The totality of life guidance means why I've been created. Am I created for this day-to-day 9 to 5 jobs? Or am I created for something else, bigger? Right? So these are the information. We say reason and revelation must be aligned together. Reason tells us that we need a revelation, and then revelation when the revelation comes, our duty is to check the authenticity of the revelation, whether this external source, trustable source,
Okay.
and there are examination you can perform, whether
How do you check your internal is right?
that's I say internal is right when you are in the plane. When you hit, you will know whether you can call upon to God or not, right? So that shows your internal one.
Have you experienced such a?
experienced such a thing?
Have you where the plane drops?
Plane drops or
God
I haven't
forbid.
been- Not in a plane, no.
Right.
No. But I have been in life-threatening situations.
Yes.
before.
Okay, and where has the inclination gone?
Yeah, exactly.
It has gone to medicine.
No, you've been instantly in that life-threatening situation.
I was crawling
Where-
out of a burning car.
Okay.
And I was not worried about God. I was worried about how medically I should move to reduce my injuries.
That's fine. But at the same, yeah, that's fine. But at the same time, that pervading thought of you being taken away must have then necessitated a thought process within you. I've got to get free from this burning car, wherever the case may be.
I crawled out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that same time, are you saying there was not even a remote inclination? You didn't have even inkling towards.
It may be the shock. Sometimes
Yeah.
it could be shock.
Yeah,
that
that-
he probably. Because
yes.
sometimes if
Whereas-
you have the climb,
yeah.
then you can think about it.
Yes.
If you have in the shock of
Yeah,
moment,
because with the plane dropping, there's moments to reflect.
time to think.
Yeah,
Yes,
but obviously the
time to
natural. For example, if someone was going, God forbid, aim a punch at you, or aim a punch at me, my first instinct would be naturally to dodge the punch. Then if I've dodged the punch and I've escaped, I'm going to go back and reflect. Well, it's fortunate for me, thank
you
God.
have time to think.
Yeah, you have time to think. So that's yeah. So what we're trying to then incorporate within this innate thinking, which the brother is trying to implement, is that natural inclination still goes towards a divine being. So as long as that then, as long as
I
that,
don't know if it does when I'm reflecting, because I
no,
like my
if you
free will.
connect it already, if you know, because through this internal function, you already know. Now,
I'd like to test it. I'd like to know that mine is working well.
no, now only the second one, whenever any information comes as an externally, if you look at the source, can I verify the information?
Okay.
Can I go in line with this original built-in information that I have?
If it's right,
No.
we've got to
Now-
check that it's right.
Now someone cannot fully check it as
Yeah.
if you have a memory lapse issue. If you are not in the state of mind, you
Okay.
cannot apply your judgment. Just like in the court, a judge would not take someone's testimony if someone is drunk. So therefore, when we're talking about objective, so like for example, if a messenger come to you and telling you that I am a God's approved messenger and I am a human being, and if he perform a miracle, like imagine he said, I am going to show you a miracle. You know my character is absolute. I know I never lied in my entire life. And everyone said, yes, we agree, you never lied. And then he said, what?
Worried about false memories again.
No, let me finish it. And then I want you to ask some question. Then that,
You are describing a magician.
no, I'm talking about there are a difference between magician.
Okay, show me.
Okay, the magician, someone first, in order to make claim, he needs to make claim who is he. A magician never claim I am a messenger of God. A magician, so this is the very simplest way to refute that. A prophet or a politician never say that. You know why? Because he cannot restrict with the God's law.
Okay.
Right? And
Be
we
careful
don't,
that none of them have claimed
no,
it.
I mean, we have to be careful because these politicians have tied us in our home and they have a party in COVID time, right?
Yeah,
So,
be careful
so
with what they say. Yeah.
of course. Now, he parted the sea. The whole community witnessed that they have.
good evening, free information, Islam, most informative.
That is for them miracle, for us is history.
Okay.
Right.
But we've also got people claiming they were witches and people claiming they've seen all sorts of stuff.
No, but nobody claiming they
But
are
then
from
you
God.
examine the centrality of the message as well,
Exactly,
you see.
nobody that
Because
claims.
the centrality of the message, it
Okay.
resonates with what yours. So you apply that what the individual is espousing. So in the case
If
of
they say, here's a message from God, you'll believe anything?
No. We verify the source.
verify.
So
Yes.
what the verification? We call it testimony of knowledge, right?
Okay.
There are many knowledge called empirical knowledge, and there are knowledge called empirical knowledge. Like for example, if your mother calls you and tells you, I cooked chicken for you,
Okay.
would you ever doubt that she didn't cook the chicken?
My mum, yeah.
You doubt? You doubt? Okay.
Absolutely.
Let me take it. Let me change that.
Good evening,
number.
Free Information Islam.
I think she would say that I'm
Okay, fine. Okay.
Free Information Islam.
Your friend who will trust you, who never lied, yeah? He told you, and he asked you, come along, we're going to have some dinner together.
Yeah.
You agree. Why do you agree? Because you applied the testimony, means you know he's not a liar. And he's
Free
a
Information Islam.
trustworthy person, right? Now, this is how we take the knowledge from. Empiricism is something also limited. Because if the empiricism finish means if there is a checking line, because there are restrictions of and limitation of empiricism, right?
You're claiming that God has run out of data.
No, I'm not.
How can we can't do it empirically?
No.
Good evening, Free Information Islam, perhaps most important thing. Free Information Islam.
Empirically,
Why do you need to?
No, but the thing is, I think this
don't
is.
need to,
It
yeah.
seems to be going around in a few circles because he already accepts.
no, I think the
God,
problem
he-
here, brother, is he's not trying to accept the external source.
No. Don't
Exactly.
accept
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Yes.
I am saying your reason already dictating you need something. Now, that means you don't have the proper understanding of that what is innate, what have been inbuilt.
I think you built a strong case for the innate, and I think you've been perhaps a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe not compelled towards it, but something to consider.
Yeah.
The innate argument.
innate
I
argument.
like the innate, but I don't know how to test that I'm right.
That's
Yeah.
why I say so. we
Everything
have
else
the
I do is
counter-
fallible.
Yeah.
I'm human. Yeah, I can't pinpoint.
Precisely. That's the.
Yeah.
That's the.
So why should my innate be perfect?
Yeah. That's.
So if it isn't perfect, then I've got a real problem because I've got nothing that's common.
I think the reconciliation here required. Let me put the full case. Maybe it's better than you can see. What we are saying is here, an external source will come and proclaim he is a messenger of God.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are lots of people that do that.
Right. Now,
Some of them are completely nuts.
exactly. And we have cases. Someone say the universe will be destroyed soon 7 times, and 7 prophecies made, all of them become false.
Yeah, yeah.
I am talking about a man. The most number of book written on his name. The most revered person in the history. The most remembered person on the planet. Right? And we say, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And Allah says, we have not sent Muhammad unless a mercy for mankind. Now, and he make a claim that I am a messenger of God.
Yeah.
And you know what he did? Before become a prophet,
I don't know what you did. I'm not sure you do.
let me make my case, and
Yeah.
then I will.
Okay.
You can ask as many as questions. It's important to build the case.
No, because that's a magician.
No,
and
I am saying
installing false
magician.
memory.
Magician.
You've got to fight your
So
case.
then you look at the. You
No,
look at
magician,
the centrality.
We need to make the distinction between what is the difference between a sorcerer claim, a prophet claim, and a magician claim.
Precisely, a magician is too far out. I mean, a magician
Yeah.
in essence is bring a rabbit out of the hat. No one's claiming that.
No.
Yeah.
Normally, magician.
You are using the same techniques as a magician would do.
No.
It is
We can.
imposing lots and lots of information at me with a structure around it.
Okay, so the magician, magic is something it will take you out of Islam. Many scholars say, if you do so, that will take you out of Islam. And these are the work of devil. And you know what? Every chapter we read in the
They're
Quran,
not devil as well.
we
Where's this
read,
come from?
we read in the name of God, and God said in the Quran, we read something.
We don't know the Quran is right.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Thus, hold on a second. Allah said, إِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. When you start reciting the Quran, start seeking Allah's help from accursed Satan. The magic and all of this is the work of devils. And God is saying, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطْوَاتِ
Okay,
الشَّيْطَانِ.
we've
Do
got-
not follow the footsteps of
We've
Satan.
got people
Right.
and books and devils. You're surrounding me with
now,
ideas.
what you are saying magic, Quran is condemning this group, so magic is not allowed. Even scholars say, many scholars say that if you do magic, you are out of fold of Islam. So, what you are referring,
You
we
don't-
go against it.
Well, you don't know how to tell me what is magic and what is what.
I think. Sorry,
No,
so can
no,
I just?
magic,
Yeah.
magic. I say it's a very simple thing. If someone says, I'm a prophet, you will make a claim, I'm a prophet. If someone says, I'm a magician, I'm a magician.
Why doesn't the magician claim to be a prophet?
Why did he even say that?
Because
What is the benefit of it? You know,
It opens people's minds to what he's saying.
no, but that source of the information, a magician cannot be finding the true source of information. How did he know what will happen in future?
Because magicians do that. They make people do what they want them to do.
What do you mean?
But then you look at the centrality of that message. This it doesn't make. Yeah,
A magician magician would do for his own benefit. A magician would not prosecute it years after years just to proclaim this message. We do not find.
Try things.
Persecution.
No, we do not find any magician for his own message. He's been prosecuted. He was
Persecuted.
waterless, foodless, and even so much so he got stoned, and the water, the blood bleed is so much that his sandal stick with his
blood on the sandals. So
on
the point the brother is what he's trying to say in essence is the fundamental message of the Islamic narrative is something which concurs with what you believe anyway, that there is a God. That's the first and fundamental message.
That's all right.
Okay?
I'm happy with that.
Yep. So then the Prophet Muhammad, which I think very briefly, peace be upon him, came to a community which were, if you want to term it in the best way, barbaric, to say the least. This is where we commonly get this carry on film notions of the wild heathen type of Arab. Well, this is what the portrayal has been through history on media.
Magician
Yeah. So the
have this honesty to stand again. If he has been prosecuted, he would leave his magic. There are many witnesses, and we cannot find a single magician. You cannot find that he has claimed, and even though torture, he has kept on his magic, and yet he never claimed that it's from God. So therefore, if someone say, I am a plane driver,
You're making stories. I have no evidence here.
no, I am using some general example so that we can relate. I'm talking, if someone say I am a doctor, you can compare with a doctor. If someone say I'm an engineer, you cannot compare with a doctor. It is two different professions. When I'm talking about magic,
so you've got to be
someone can do magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone can do magic does not necessarily make a prophet. A prophet has some certain criteria. Someone must be truthful all the time. Someone must be, yes, all the time.
So this is a
God
bit-
would not, would you say God sent a messenger, a liar, to communicate his
I would
message?
say that God does not send messengers.
Why did you say that? Because if you go, then you go with against your innate understanding. Again,
Yeah.
I tell you why it's innate understanding. Your innate self relying there is a creator. Now, but at the same time, you know that your reason is dictating there is someone who needs to define my purpose.
Okay.
But at the same time, when the messenger coming to you, you are kind of rejecting the idea of messenger. And all of the proof you need, unless you say, I wanted to see God, would that
I think what he's trying. I think there may be some extended hypercritical standards that you're applying over here, which
but it's already been dealt with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so what we're trying to then finalise is that because we seem to be going around in a few circles. In conclusion, the Islamic narrative conforms with what you believe. It's the main construct of the belief, which is of a one supreme creator, a God Almighty. You accept that, okay?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We're
Then
happy with that.
you're happy with that. Okay, that's good. So then, second point to that, your objection that doesn't necessitate that God has to send revelation through a conduit in any aspect, and then we are all.
I don't think he's limited to doing that. No, I don't think he has to do that.
No, he doesn't have to do that. However, he chooses to do as such. Because then, for example, if we all in this country decide that we want to apply our own laws to a particular understanding, wouldn't there be anarchy? Wouldn't there be confusion? Wouldn't there?
No, I don't think it's been tried. But I don't see.
So if everybody,
What about if there were plenty
I
of
think
times?
there is an issue of anthropomorphism here. When you say,
Are you saying before there was religion there was chaos?
what I'm saying to you, when one understands that there's always been rules and guidance in every society that one has lived in.
Yeah, because somebody decides they're going to be boss.
Doesn't necessarily, but then, but the point, that's the whole issue, you see.
I think the issue here is
This is a
anthropomorphization of
and it's a sociological aspect
Yeah,
which needs to be understood.
Anthropomorphization of understanding, where thinking of what creator should do and what shouldn't do.
Shouldn't do, yes.
In our limited understanding, and that is called anthropomorphization. Means our limited understanding
It's
to
telling
compete
God
with
what to
yes,
do.
exactly, yeah. And that's why this is a very profound verse in the Quran. Allah said, "La yus'al amma yaf'al wa hum yus'al." You cannot dictate Allah what He should do. Rather, you will be questioned about what you refer. So, right
That's okay.
now we are aligned. Yeah.
I question you when you come up with these stories. We will have a
No,
person,
now
we'll have
we
a
need to
book,
verify
we'll
the
have a
source.
team.
Now we need to
I
verify the
question you
source.
about those.
Yes, we
Yeah.
need to verify the source. Now Quran,
Why have them at all?
then you should accept Prophet Muhammad as a messenger, become a Muslim.
Why?
Because that's conclusion. Because if you say I don't need evidence, then you now you accept.
I am saying I will
You,
question.
now you accept. Now I'm glad that he's agreed the anthropomorphization understanding. That's what he did all the
I
time.
don't think he has, but anyway.
Yeah, I hope you understand. Because what we are saying, through our limited intellect, we are defining what God has to do or what He shouldn't do. Rather, He chosen for you what you have to do.
Okay.
Now, when external evidence come to you and telling you this is what God did and I am the God's messenger, I'm saying you can do all the tests like truthfulness, objective tests you can perform. And by the way, you cannot compare with a magic or magician because they are not claiming to be a magician and they go against to the magician and the magician have some worldly gain, that's why they do a magician, right? So we need to see the motive of those people. Their motive is they were so much that they were offered kingship, money, wealth, but yet they chose to follow the path of God and not taking the worldly benefit. Prophets and messengers, prophets and messengers, when they call for oneness of God and worship God alone, they've been persecuted for their claim, and so much so because it goes against to the norm of the society, because people are doing bad stuff, because belief is not coming as a belief, it comes as the totality of the package of governing the society. How should the banking system run? How should economy should run? How the state should run? The moment the prophets and messengers give true information, people, the great people, the politician, it goes against to their message. That's why if you look at Islam, Islam is standing for all the things wrong going on. Islam has a solution for our economic problem. And we have something called zakat, which is taking from rich, giving it to the poor to balance the society. On the other hand, we look at interest-based society, which is rich is getting richer and poor is getting poorer. If you go to the payday loan shop, a poor person go and ask for £2,000. Shop said, yes, I'm going to give it to you £2,000, but you will give me 20% interest back. The poor guy cannot come out of the interest-based system. The week he goes pay the repayment, the guy knows that he cannot come out. So he is using to exploit his weakness, and this is the society we are in. But the God's guidance is completely other way.
Even in this country, this is a side point,
Yes.
even over here, 250 years ago, Christians, they fought furiously against the introduction of interest-based economies as well. But certain factors, so we just say, if I spell it out who these factors were, we'll get in trouble. And I don't want to compromise the brother's channel, but they've infiltrated society, which they continue to do now, and they're the ones who imposed interest-based economies in the West going back 250 years. Yeah, I know, but it's a side point because he touched upon it, but just something for you to consider. Hence,
What I'm considering
yeah,
is that when we looked at whether someone was a magician or not,
yes,
you said, using my words, it would be your peers. So you're looking at the people who are similar to you. Yeah? So you said a magician would be, if you use one magician, they would be able to look at another magician.
Correct.
And if you use a prophet, they should be able to look at another prophet.
Yes. So
Now
if you see the similarity,
I see the
but
similarity.
if you see the prophets and
But I
magicians,
don't see
you can
prophets
really
talking to each other or looking at each other.
no.
Because they come up with different religions.
We had a conversation.
But the here in Islam we believe all the prophets and messengers here to reminding people to believe and worship one God. People chose us to create religion.
Why do the prophets not talk about each other or to each other?
Yeah,
to
they
see
did.
if they're
They
genuine.
did. In the time of Moses and Aaron together. So there's two prophets together.
I'm very worried that different religious prophets argue with each
No,
other.
that religion was not created by God. That religion was created by human beings through the out of desire.
Careful you don't push yourself out in the same boat.
No, no. I'm just simply stating the matter. God's religion is Islam.
If we should use our peers to judge, then prophets should judge prophets.
No, prophet shouldn't. I think you are mixing up. Prophet is coming from, like imagine if you work in a company.
Okay?
And all of three work in a company, right? If you're wearing a t-shirt with yellow t-shirt and company name on the front, you come to knock a door, right? 2 days ago, you go to the number 16 with this t-shirt and you give something, right? Let's say you give something or you deliver something. 3 days later, I go, similar t-shirt, similar message, go to the same house and drop something. 3 days later, this guy go with the same t-shirt, with the same logo in, to the number 16 again. It's not a no-brainer for this number 16 resident. They know that we all three from the same company. Right. The prophets and messengers, the role of prophets and messengers. One community, when the time lapse, people change the true concept of God through their desire and through lust. After the prophet gone, then people get confused. So God didn't leave them in confusion. Rather, He reinstated His message by sending another prophet or messenger, so that nobody should live alone.
Every religion says that.
No, not every religion. Look, Islam is a religion. Adam was a Muslim. All of the prophets of God were Muslim, means they submitted to God alone, not idol worship. Islam shunned the idol worship. We only worship the true God. That's why if you look at all the prophets and messengers, they fight with their community of one thing, idol worship. They say, why do you give gratitude to this idol? They cannot, neither they can harm you nor they benefit you. But the worship the one true God, unseen God who can help you. So this is the key message of all the prophets and messengers. And Islam bring back that message. And Prophet Muhammad, when he came to Arabia, he didn't bring a new message, rather the old message. It is people who create a religion. God said, Inna deena indallahi al-Islam. Only religion in the sight of God is Islam, means submission. Islam means submission and surrender to your will, to the maker of your will. So that's the summary of Islam. And Islam, Quran.
That's very worrying.
No, I
We
mean,
need the innate bit to make sure that they're right. We must test them. We mustn't surrender. We must test that it is right.
no, I am talking about that God communicated His
We don't
will.
do this.
No, I am saying the Quran is there, the Prophet is there.
I know
so you,
these things are
no,
there,
exactly. Now,
we'd have no evidence they're right.
another way, I can make it simple. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, I'm a messenger of God.
Fine.
We can test him whether he's a truthful messenger.
Can you?
We
You've
can.
never spoken to him.
No,
I've never spoken
no,
to him.
but
How do we test it?
but we can test it. Look at the, we can verify. Do you believe you have a great grandfather?
I can believe that, yeah.
But do you test it?
No, because I don't
No.
believe it very much.
Okay, okay. So without testing, you believed it.
I believe it a little, yeah.
Yeah, but
don't-
I am telling you, I have evidence
Okay, tell me.
which has been
Good.
documented, historical documents.
Okay, historical documents are
Yeah.
very, very dodgy.
Right. So if you have that hyper skepticism glass, nobody will be able to help you.
Okay, do I need help?
Yeah, you need help. Everyone need help.
Okay,
You need a help. You need a help tonight. If the train stuck, you can't go home, so you need help. Yeah. If your oxygen stop,
yeah.
you are helpless, so you need help.
Okay,
You need your help that your leg is working so that you can stand. So you need help in every aspect. So don't be
I don't necessarily...
be humble, man.
Yeah,
Be humble. You know, we receive things from God,
okay,
and
yes,
we
happy
pray.
with that.
Yes, exactly. Now,
I don't know that you know about books.
no,
I don't know that you know about
I'm
people.
talking about how can you apply your rational. If you say, okay, I don't want to believe any historical document. If you apply the
I
same,
don't want to believe people, because people are fallible.
okay, people fallible. Does it make everything fallible?
Yeah,
So are you saying everything about you is wrong?
I'm infallible. I'm fallible. Yeah, get that right. I'm fallible.
Does he? I said, is everything of what you do is fallible?
Everything I do is fallible.
Everything.
Yeah, I'm not perfect.
No,
I will make mistakes on everything I do.
right. So everything you do, everything you made mistake.
I expect so. I
Do
might
you know-
accidentally get something right, but it wasn't intentional.
Okay, if that your belief, that you can keep your belief. What are we are talking about? God sent messenger and prophet and communicated. They are
You don't know this.
no. I'm saying they make a claim.
Believe it.
No, I believe based
don't
on the
know it.
probabilistic evidence.
Okay, that's
You
happy.
reject. Yes, you reject without even considering
No, we put
probabilistic
different
framework.
We probable. You believe it's very probable, and I believe it's very not probable.
Now I am saying if you say you don't believe in that, then you don't believe anything in the history. You can believe
Okay.
that I can come from anything because you
Yeah.
rejected the whole
I don't.
history.
I don't mind where you come from. I don't. I'm not worried about where you come from.
No,
So
I think.
you can create a history and tell
So-
me, and I will not believe it any more than I believe any other.
So do you believe the books has been we study in the school? Do you believe those are true?
I believe we will get better at them,
No, I say do you?
but I don't believe they are true completely. No.
Then I mean this is called hyper skepticism. Means you believe nothing. In that way, you
I
know.
don't believe nothing. I believe we will get better at it.
No, but if you say I do not believe in the books, I said I give you objective criteria.
I would
Prophet
say
Muhammad,
10%.
Prophet Muhammad,
10% believe
Prophet
in them,
Muhammad,
20%
peace be
believe
upon
in
him, is not a normal layman.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm happy I may not be normal.
okay. Eh, yeah, so I'm gonna share with you something about Prophet Muhammad, right? Long story short, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, claimed to be prophet and messenger of God, and he brings evidences, right? And evidences are physical miracles. So he healed.
You don't know that.
No, we know from historically
believe it?
recorded, right?
No,
So
you still believe it. You don't know it.
no, we believe by the historical evidences, just
Okay,
like
you believe in the
yeah,
historical evidence. Okay.
yes, historical evidences
it's his
with
belief.
no historical belief with proof evidence that these two people are truthful.
The books have to be written,
Yeah,
and
but
they are written by people who have agendas.
why do you put your thinking to their head?
Okay.
Do you realize that? Because
I
you're trying to do your hyper skepticism to
Okay.
their mind,
Yeah, yeah.
which they are not. So
Okay.
so the prophets and messenger.
I am fallible. I might be wrong. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all are fallible. In some cases, we all are wrong. But
Yeah.
God chose their messenger to be not fallible in delivering the message, right?
This is something
They-
you believe?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But they have lapses like human mistake,
Yeah.
like forgetfulness, all of these
Yeah.
things. But they are not fallible in communicating God's message.
Okay.
Right. So now, majority of the messenger, all of them pretty much, they shown miracles.
You have
right.
to accept
right.
this is belief.
Now,
You have no evidence.
I'm
for
coming.
this.
No, I'm coming to that.
Okay.
I have something evidence.
Okay.
We can objectively prove
Go
the
ahead.
miracle is not dead, and that is
Okay.
called Quran, a book.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've just
Okay.
done that you believe the book is good, but you can't prove it.
No, I am talking. There is an objective challenge for everybody
Okay.
today,
Yeah, yeah.
and the book says that you cannot produce a chapter like it.
Okay.
And there are objective challenges, like God said, this is a God's book, written in a way that no human being can imitate it.
Okay. The Christians would claim they've got an alternative.
No, they don't. They don't
Okay.
make a claim.
That's all right.
No, they don't make a claim. So this is a
I
unique.
know people who make that
I
claim.
am saying this claim was not there anybody. This is a unique claim in the Quran. It said you cannot produce a book like it,
Okay.
or you cannot produce a
I
chapter
have
like it.
definitely heard that from a Christian.
Okay, and I can guarantee.
I have heard it.
Let me reassure you.
Yeah.
Let me reassure you.
Yeah.
There is no such claim in any other books. This is only applicable to the Quran.
I have
Okay.
heard this claim from Christians.
I said there is no such claim in the Christianity.
Okay.
So,
That is
so let me
something you
correct you.
believe?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I believe. I know.
Okay.
I
do
know
you
for sure.
know-
In-
how do you know that
because
I have not
the-
heard that?
Because the Bible nowhere it said this is produce a chapter like it. I have read it.
I have heard
Look.
people claim that. Just as
There
I
is
heard
one
you
thing
claim
people claim it and one thing book says. There's two different things.
Okay.
If a book said it, a challenge is one thing, and someone is claiming. I am saying the Quran itself saying that produce a chapter like it. Now what you are misunderstanding is you quoting as someone claiming. I'm saying in the Bible it doesn't exist there.
Okay.
Anybody can make a claim. Now, this objective challenge has looked into by linguistics, even the AI tools, artificial intelligence, all of them have looked into that challenge. And perhaps you can look into, go home and look into that
I
challenge.
think that is belief again. I don't think
No.
you've done the AI.
No.
I don't think you've read the stuff.
I said, take my advice, go
Right.
home, research about it.
Yeah.
I am not saying you take whatever I give you. I said be reasonably, because you need to do your research. You cannot just hyper skeptic and stand and this is wrong without knowing it. And that's kind of an ignorant claim, isn't it? If you don't know
saying
something,
I am ignorant, which is
no,
possible.
I'm
That's
not.
Okay.
I know. I'm saying intellectually. I'm not saying you are a good man.
No, thanks.
You are a good man. I'm not saying that. I'm saying intellectually, you need to look into it and see what Quran has to offer to you, rather than before. Let's say if I say I don't want to look into it, before I look into it, how can I reject something? Sometimes we reject something, we don't know what we are rejecting. So it's important to know before I reject it. That's why I said Quran makes a challenge.
Okay.
It's from God.
Careful, because trying something before you know whether it's good or not applies to drugs and sex before marriage.
But that's not drug.
be
No.
careful with that one.
That's a wrong analogy.
It might
Look,
be.
because
Yeah.
the book, it said, don't drink, don't gamble. So the analogy doesn't go with the book, but because book says it's a sin to have that. So therefore you can apply that. Do you see my point? The
I
book
see your
goes
point.
against that. So this is my take, would be final talk.
Okay.
Look into the Quran is objective challenge and be open-minded and see what see what takes. And I ask Allah to look. End of the day is a belief, but belief must be with evidence and reason. And I am saying do not follow a blind belief. That's my take.
Okay.
But
Don't
believe with
follow
evidence.
Blind belief.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Even
understand
Quran,
that.
you know what Quran said? Something. If anyone comes, any stranger comes with information, verify it before you accept it. Even the Quran said that. So it's not telling
but
you
it
to
doesn't
believe.
say do it to itself.
No, it
hang on.
tells you.
I
That's
gotta-
why it giving you an objective challenge.
Yeah.
That's why it's telling you it's an objective challenge to produce a chapter like it.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me.
Hello. Hello. No. Hello. Yes. Hello. Yes. I'm just at Shadwell now, so I should be with you shortly. Okay, sorry to keep you waiting. Okay, bye. Oh,
I think
I'm
we-
sorry, that was
yeah.
my hotel saying I must be there.
Yeah. So I'll give you this copy. Oh, you have a copy?
I cannot read it because I do not believe it was written by somebody believable.
No, I'm saying read.
You're
then-
asking me to read something that I do not believe in. Yeah, I do not believe that was written by a perfect person. I believe the person who wrote it was fallible, and they have written something that they wanted to write. I don't believe it relates to God. It relates to what they wanted to write.
I mean, you can entitle your super hyper skepticism, right?
I can be super hyper skeptical if you like. I am fallible. I get things wrong.
No, I mean,
But
I'm
that
saying
is my
intellectually.
case, is that that was written by somebody who was not perfect, just like I am not perfect, and they wrote what they wanted to write. They didn't write about God. Anyway, I must go to my hotel. Thank you.
Look after yourself.
Thank you.
I hope
All right.
God guide you to the truth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Subhanallah. Long discussion. As you can realize, the hyper skepticism. So may Allah guide him to Islam. We have given him the argument from Fitra, argument from external reasoning, from the prophets, messengers, books. So he is adamant to look into it, and I hope Allah guide him to Islam. Very difficult to have a conversation like this type of mentality. I ask Allah to guide him. Assalamu alaikum.